Hare Krishna, welcome everybody. Welcome Jeffrey Ackler. Welcome. Young Blood, welcome. Evan Lewis, Edward Peru, Grunganishta, Kylie Brown. Let's see who we have on this side. Carlos G, Chapu G, Hare Krishna. I went to bed at like 2:30 a.m. because we did kirtan, the Oakland Halloween block party, and all kinds of generally heavily intoxicated people dancing with us, chanting or trying to chant, having a good time, dancing with us. You know, some of them, they stick around with us for like a few hours. We were there for about 3.5 hours, 10 to like 1 something. Just got home, so excuse me while I get sorted. You know. So hopefully I have a brain today. Hopefully everything's all there. But it was quite ecstatic. We always try to go. It's a whole lot of people. The place is quite packed and kind of insane. And we used to have some swamis that would come down, and although they were old, they would dance till like 2 a.m. And you know, hundreds and hundreds of people will be dancing with us. We were the life of the block party. A lot of fun. All right. Granganishta, how's it going? How's your practice going?
It's been good. It's been good. It's I have had some things going on here, but yeah, I try my best. Yeah.
Nice. Edward, Sir Edward. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, still plugging away. Yep, going pretty good.
Nice. And Jeffrey Ackler, have you had a chance to work on your verses a bit?
I got my cards.
Got your cards?
But I was traveling this past week, and it becomes tough to get down to studying when I'm super busy on the road.
I think the easiest thing is to connect with Carlos and Grunganishta. They have. Were you doing on Saturdays? I missed it this Saturday, but that extra day really makes a big difference, and they all practice together. That really helps out a lot.
Yeah, we also have like a group on WhatsApp, Prabhu, and so yeah, Jeffrey Ackler, Prabhu. You know, if you send us your phone number, I can add you to the group, and we just kind of study maybe on Wednesday, like whenever it works for anyone, really.
Can you send me that link and I'll put it in the email?
Yes, Prabhu.
So anybody can click on it there that way. Nice. All right. So let's see, what do we got today? Any thoughts about any of the particular verses? I had some thoughts. So last week we did Aparayamitastvanyam Prakritim Vidhime Param Jiva Bhutam Mahabaho Yayadam Daryate Jagat. Oh yeah, I was remembering Prabhupada was giving lectures on because everybody's heard of this term Purusha and Prakriti. So Purusha means the male figure, and it also means like the bhokta, the enjoyer, like Krishna says in the chapter 5, the last verse, Bhokta Ram Yagyatapa Sam, the enjoyer of the sacrifice. And so the main problem that we have in this world is a male problem. all men and women are trying to be males. They're trying to be the lords, the enjoyers, but we're all prakriti. We are all feminine. We are that which is to be enjoyed. We have a different nature. We're not the, we're trying to be the man, but who's the Purusha? Actual Purusha is the Purushottama, the supreme person. So that verse, aparayamita sanyam prakritim vidmi pepuram, in it's showing the living entity. He is called oftentimes as a Purusha because of that dharyate, of that trying to enjoy the other elements. But here he's being defined as Prakriti. He is not the enjoyer. He is the enjoyed, the feminine energy. So everyone is yeah, we're all like transgendered beings. We're all either we're male or female. We're trying to be male, but we're actually female. And there's a particular like characteristic that is being signified there. So and the male kind of characteristic is the enjoyer, the man, and we are not the man. Okay, and then so we got this. Etad yonini bhutani sarvaniti upadharaya aham krishnasya jagata prabhava prayalastata. So you've probably heard of this word sometimes in yoga circles, is the word yoni. Sometimes it's people say, oh, that's the word for the female genital. Here it is most often you see as like the womb. So everything, basically, for anything to be born, Shiva Lingam have both, yes. For linga is the kind of male, and yoni is female. So etat yonini bhutani. Basically, in order to appear within the womb, anything in this world is just as a combination of these two, the spirit and matter. Like and Prabhupada in the purport talks about how matter is coming out of spirit, and that he's specifically speaking not about the jiva, but more so of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just like one example he gives in some lectures is like, for example, to produce vitamin C, you just need a soul in the body of a tree, and this chemical is being produced. It is, taking different things and producing that chemical. So this whole material nature, things become manifested due to the presence of the super soul, the three different super souls. Does anybody know who are the three different super souls? Chapuji, three different super souls. So you have Mahavishnu, and he is the super soul of the as what Kashtuba called it the other day, the batter, the whole material cosmic energy before it's even manifested. And then he enters. You all know probably that you have this giant form of Vishnu. He is so large that universes are coming out of his pores. This is a nice book to read about this. Maybe not the whole book, because it's, you open it up and it says the hexagonal triangle. It's like reading some science book. It's not so easy. It's the Brahma Samhita. Even the first paragraph by Bhaktisiddhanta is like, whew. Mahavishnu Garbhadakshaya Vishnu, and the other one begins with Kshiradakshaya Vishnu. Yes. So Mahavishnu is so big, universes come out of his pores. And so this whole existence, this whole batter. He is called the Paramatma of that. And then you have the smaller form of a Lord who enters into each universe and lies down and creates the Garbha ocean and lies down on the Garbha ocean. He's so much smaller that he's just the size of the universe. And he becomes this super soul of the aggregate living entities and the universe itself, one universe itself. And then he enters into a much, much smaller form, enters into this small form that is so small, it enters into the heart of every atom, and also takes a form that resides on the milk ocean in the material world called Swetadweep, which is like a Vaikuntha planet in the material world. Therefore, when there's like a big problem and the demigods are troubled and they don't know what to do, they go with Brahma to the banks of the milk ocean and they offer their prayers and they hear the Lord from within their heart give response. And that's when he appears as Krishna, or beg him to appear. And so that's a super soul, individual super soul within every living entity. So those are called the three Purushas. Ete chamsa sakala punsha. There's this famous verse from the Bhagavatam. It's called the Parivasta Sutra. It is like the Parivasta Sutra means the verse that gives you the idea of how the whole thing is meant to be understood. It is like the king that leads the entire nation. And so this verse is in the first canto, I think 5th chapter or 3rd chapter. Ete chamsa kalam pumsha, all these avatars that they just listed, it's a chapter that they list all the avatars. They come from the Pumshas, the Purushas. Krishna's too, Bhagavan Swayan, but that Krishna, he is the original, supreme. It's kind of like you see a bunch of men come out of the limo. This word tu is very significant there. It's like, you see, those men, they're very important, but that man's the president. So it creates some distinction. And so Krishna is that form from whom, he exhibits all the super excellences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that are not visible. You don't have the personal aspects so much so, very intimate aspects in the form of like Mahavishnu. He doesn't have like great romantic pastimes or friendly adventures or things like that. Motherhood, as we're in this month of celebrating the unparalleled love of Mother Yashoda. So in the purport, if I remember correctly, there is it's all due to the presence of that spiritual energy. Here, let's see. Everything that exists is a product of matter and spirit. Spirit is the basic field of creation, and matter is created by spirit. Spirit is not created at a certain stage of material development. Remember, we gave that example of you take a single-celled organism in a test tube and put a little tiny needle and kill the single-celled organism. Give that test tube, keep it in a nice temperature, everything, and give it to some scientist and say, here, we have pulled together our GoFundMe. We have, $30 billion. Please create some life. And they're like, I can't do it. Spirit is not created at a certain stage of material development. Rather, this material world is manifested only on the basis of spiritual energy. The material body is developed because spirit is present within. A child grows gradually to boyhood, then to manhood. Because of that superior energy, the supreme soul is present. Similarly, the entire cosmic manifestation of the gigantic universe is developed because of the super soul. Cosmic manifestation. So that's Mahavishnu. Therefore, spirit and matter, which combine to manifest this gigantic universal form, are original two energies of the Lord, and consequently, the Lord is the original cause of everything. A fragmental part and parcel of the Lord, namely the living entity, may be the cause of a big skyscraper, a big factory, or even a big city, but he cannot be the cause of a big universe. The cause of the big universe is the big soul, or the super soul. And Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the cause of both big and small souls. Therefore, he is the original cause of all causes. This is confirmed in the Katha Upanishad. Nityo Nityanam Chaitanash Chaitananam. So let's see, what do we have here? So Etad Yonini Bhutani. So Bhutani, it's word for word says everything created. Oftentimes you hear that word meaning, what does anybody know? What is the often translation we hear? The word Bhutani? I don't know. I don't know what other verse, we did a verse with that word, but I don't know which one it is. It generally means like all the beings, all the living beings. Bhutani, 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 Sarva iti, Sarvit, Sarvani iti, Sarvaniti, Upadharaya, Aham, that's one we should know. Aham, I, that word. Kritnasya, Kritnasya, that means, you'll find this word sometimes. It means holy, complete, everything that we're speaking. This whole Kritnasya is complete. Jagata, this whole Jagat. What is Jagat? Eben Lewis.
Material world?
Material universe. Universe,
Yes.
very good. Because there's that Jagannath, Lord of the universe. Pralay, pralay. This is the word for destruction. This is a common word. Pralay. And prabhav is like a manifestation, creation. So prabhav, you can do like prabhav, make your hand like that. Prabhav, kind of manifested like a flower opening up. And pralay is a destruction. Pralaya, there's a song, Pralaya Padi I think it's one of the Dasavatar songs. Pralaya Dojule. Oh, I can't remember. One second. It's one of the Brahma Samhita also probably has this word because it talks about the different lords of creation and destruction. Shrishti is another word for creation. Brahma Samhita, it identifies these different beings that are involved in creation and destruction. Like Shambhu is involved in destruction, and Durga is involved also in creation. And then it discusses how they all take shelter of the Govindam Adi Purusham, that the man, the original man. I can't remember right now. Let me see. Let's look up on Vedabase. Quick question. Has anybody had a chance to listen to the Damodar Astika book I'm narrating? We'll plug in for that.
No, but I have it saved on my tabs.
Okay. I just one note that because the introduction or the a lot of those things have a lot of bullet points, and it may be hard. But if you start with chapter one, I'm putting out one episode a day, which is generally one chapter a day. It's a really beautiful, sweet book. It is that if you look up in Krishna book, the story of how do you get to listen to it? It's on YouTube and it's on SoundCloud. I probably can save it as well and share it. I mean, but it's if you look in Krishna book, it's like 2 or 3 pages long. That story, and Bhagavatam, it's going to be a bit longer, but the book is, it's that thick. It's a whole book. It's this whole pastime on serious steroids, because it's taking a lot of information from so many different sources, and it's really, really beautiful to hear. Let's see what we're doing. I want to click on some words. Pralaya, annihilation, dissolution. It's also in chapter 9. Prabhava, pralaya. This word prabhav and pralaya together are in chapter 9. Gatir Brata Prabhu Shakshi Nivasa Sharanam Suhit Prabhava Pralayanam Stanam Nijam Bijam Aviyam. I'm the Gatir, the goal, the Parta, the book, the sustainer, the Prabhu, the Lord, the Sakshi, the witness, the Navas, the abode, the Sharanam, the refuge, and the most Suhrit, the most dear friend. I am creation and dissolution, and the standing ground, and the resting place, and I am the original seed. Chapter 9. Prabhava, pralaya, tata as well. Any reflections, comments? I think somebody shared the link, the YouTube channel. There you go. And it's and also if you go on SoundCloud, you can just type in Sri Damodar Janani by Shivaram Swami, chapter 1. And it was a Kartik vow that I did last year, is to record one chapter, but it's and I did everything, and I published like 3 tracks, and then I stopped, and it's like a whole year later, and I realized, okay, the only way I'm going to do it is do this difficult vow of like publishing, because I have to go say if it's a 45-minute track, I have to listen to the whole thing. I have some markers there, but I have to listen to the whole thing. And whenever I would mess up, I would just pause and then speak it again. So then I have to take out that part. So, there's like, each one's going to have like 70 different parts that mess up. Okay, so let's recite it. Etad yonini bhutani sarvaniti upadharaya aham krishnasya jagatha prabhava prayalastata. Etad yonini bhutani sarvaniti upadharaya aham krishnasya jagatha prabhava prayalastata. So Carlos, you want to give it a shot?
Chandra, could I do a question first?
Oh, yes, please.
How do you say the third line? Because we were listening yesterday that it maybe could be Jagataha instead of Jagata, because it is like the last word of the line.
It would be that emphasis would be on the second and fourth line.
Just the second and the fourth.
Yeah, like you see here in the Devanagari. I can't see myself on the screen. So the word Jagata, here, I'll highlight it. You see where it's at? Oh, Dana K. Welcome, Dana K. Hare Krishna.
Hello. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So you can see the word Jagata being highlighted, the Sanskrit, and you see that it's not at the end of line 1 or line 2. It's in the middle because it's the end of line 3.
Yeah, we heard an audio yesterday on this page, Bhagavad Gītā chanting, I think.
Yeah.
And it said, Aham Kritsnasya Jagataha.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, there's a lot of chants out there like that. Generally at temples, I've always heard, yeah, this second line and fourth line emphasis, and a real de-emphasis on that, because you'll find it, all over Prabhavaha. I also hear more in, like, because I took a spoken Sanskrit, and then they do that when you do spoken Sanskrit. It's like every one is like you say Krishna, like Krishna, it's like there. It's all over the place. Nityananda Chandra Dasaha. Yeah, it becomes all over the place, and it's employed all over the place in the conversational Sanskrit. But I think in the recitation, at least as far as I've learned in temples, that it's that second line and fourth line that is where it's emphasized. All right. Any other questions? Yeah, Kylie Brown.
Actually,
No, go ahead, Prabhu.
Oh, I thought it was a hand raised. Okay.
Oh no, I had a question, but then I think Edward was talking. Did you want to?
Go for it.
Sure. Okay. In the second line, Sarvani. So you were saying Sarvani Ti Upadaraya, and I hear in versions I've been listening to Sarvani Chupadaraya.
Okay. Yeah. Sarva Nityu. Yeah. Sarva Nityu Padharya. Yeah, you're probably gonna get that Y there. Nityu. Basically, whenever you have like that, the word that's starting with a vowel, you can connect it to the other one in front. So Sarva Nityu Padharya. So usually, yeah, when we do these classes, then I brush up on my verse and get a little better too as well. Thank you.
That was my question too.
All right, nice. Sarva Nityu Padharya. Sarva Nityu Padharaya. Sarva Nityu. Yeah, there we go. Sarva Nityu Upadaraya. Okay, Evan Lewis, can you lead us through a chant?
Yes, I'll try. Whole verse?
Yes. One line at a time.
Okay. Etadyonini Bhutani.
Etadyonini Bhutani.
Sarvanityupadaraya.
Sarvanityupadaraya.
Aham Kritsnasya Jagata.
Aham Krishnasya Jagata.
Prabhava Pralayastata.
Prabhava Pralayastata. I found my verse that I was thinking about. One of the verses, Shrishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shaktir Eka. Let me see. Let me get the meter. Shrishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shaktir Eka. Chayeva Yasta Bhuvanani Vibharta Durga. Ichana Rupam Asya Chatesa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The external potion Maya, who is the nature of the shadow of the Chit potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving, and destroying agency of this mundane world. And so Pralaya. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda in accordance to whose will Durga conducts herself. And then there's some other mentions of Pralaya, the Pralaya dance. Does anybody know the Pralaya dance? It's the dance that Lord Shiva does at the end of creation. He does this big dance and it starts to just break down all the walls. He destroys the whole universe. Can I tell you a little quick story? A quick story? Okay, so okay, I'm gonna give you the mini version of it, because it's in this book called which one is it? It's Chaitanya Mangala, and yeah, one day Rukmini is crying, and Krishna asked Rukmini, "Why are you crying?" And she says, "Krishna, I feel sad for you." Sad for me? I'm, Krishna. I get all wealth, all beauty, all fame, all loving relationships. She says, "Yeah, but I feel so sad for you because your devotee gets such bliss in serving you. And the bliss that your devotee gets in serving you, I think it's more than the bliss that you experience, my dear Krishna." She's like, "Oh, wow. It's very interesting stuff. Tell me more about it." It's like, your devotees on the, they're the ones that gets the most out of it. You're missing out here. And so hearing this, Krishna's skin starts to change color. He's just listening to this and he starts to change golden. And so at that moment, Narada Muni knocks at the door. And he is in great anxiety because Narada Muni, he is a rishi, is a tree kala gya. He can kind of suss out what's going to happen in the future. And so he sees Kali Yuga. People are short-lived. Manda sumanda matayo matabhaga upadrudaha. Means they're short-lived, they're lazy, they're unfortunate, they're misguided, they're always quarrelsome. And so he's like, what are people going to do in Kali Yuga? So he bangs on Krishna's door of Krishna's palace. And he's like, I'm in such distress. What's going to happen in Kali Yuga? And Krishna says, "Oh, you got to hear what Rukmini is just talking to me about. It's really cool." He's like, "No, but I really need to know what's going to happen in Kali Yuga." He said, "Actually, Narada, my dear Narada, this will answer your question." And so he said, "Do you remember that one time, long, long ago, you tried to get my Mahaprasadam?" And then Krishna started to narrate the pastime of Narada getting Mahaprasadam. He said, "My dear Narada, remember long ago, you were sitting and discussing, if I remember the pastime correctly, with Uddhava, and you're discussing everything you love about devotional service. And you're like, oh, I love chanting. I go to my Veena and I can just like dance from planet to planet playing on my Veena. Radhika Ramana Namine, but then Uddhava is like, but the real thing is when you get prasadam right off of Vishnu's plate, like he just was there sitting and eating, and you get it off his plate. And Narada Muni's like, oh my God, I've been doing this for millions of years. I never got that. He's like, no, that's the real deal right there. That's where it's at. And he's like, how can I get that? And so he went to Lakshmi and he served her very attentively for thousands of years, extra love and attention. And she comes to Narada and she says, Narada, you've been doing such a nice seva, and I need to reciprocate. Is there something I can offer you? Some boon? He said, yes, but it is a little bit of a problem. You told Lord Vishnu, or Lord Vishnu told you never to give out his Mahaprasadam to anybody. But I want some Mahaprasadam. Can you? He said, oh. And so she also in turn served Lord Vishnu with great care and attention. And he said, oh, Devi, you're serving me with such extra affection. How can I reciprocate? How can I properly reciprocate with this affection that you're giving me? She says, actually, I have a problem. Problem? Sudarshan Chakra. Yes, sir. She has a problem. Actually, the problem is your devotee. What? My devotee is giving you problems? She said, he asked for your Mahaprasadam. You said, don't give it out to anybody. Because what happens? You eat Mahaprasadam, you get Krishna Prema, you get love for God. And then Krishna becomes your servant. Anyone who has love of God, Krishna feels so indebted to them that he wants to serve them. So it becomes, it's an impossible gift to gain. It's not something that is given out so easily. And so then she said, okay. You've asked. So one day when I'm eating, I will turn my head. And at that moment, take the prasadam and then bring it to Narada. And so Narada, he got that prasadam and he ate it and he began to dance and dance and dance. And what happens? What do you do when something amazing happens to you? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? You won the lottery. What do you want to do? Karanganishta.
I mean, if I'm really in a very joyful state, I think I'll yell and run around, like crazy.
Yeah. And then you also want to you got to tell your friend about it, isn't it? You got to just go, man, this just happened to me. Oh my God, this is amazing. So Narada Muni went to go see his brother, Lord Shiva. And so he was dancing his way to Kailash mountain. And so he gets to Kailash mountain and he tells you, Lord Shiva, you wouldn't believe it. I got Mahaprasadam right off of Krishna's plate. It was amazing. And Lord Shiva says, that's nice. You didn't bring me any? And Narada Muni is he's feeling very embarrassed. And Lord Shiva sees Narada was in such ecstasy. He wasn't acting like a brahmana, washing his hands or anything. And so Lord Shiva sees a little grain of food on his hand. And he grabs his hand, he takes that grain, and he pops it in his mouth, and he begins to dance. Now, when Lord Shiva dances, he dances at the end of the time of the universe, the time of universal dissolution. And so he's doing this, he starts doing his dance, and things start to go down, like the whole universe is starting to suffer. Goddess Bhumi, the Mother Earth, starts running and going to Parvati, Lord Shiva's wife, and says, your husband is trying to kill me. What is going on? This is not the time for pralaya. This is not the time for destruction. What's going on? She says, I don't know. Let me go see. And she says, Prabhu. And he wakes up. He said, why did you do that? I was dancing in ecstasy. And she said, what's going on? She said, Narada gave me this prasadam and it was wonderful. And I was dancing ecstasy. And she says, that's nice. Don't you know your wife is your better half? Where is my prasadam? And so instead of being embarrassed, he was a little cheeky. He said, oh, Bhavani, goddess of matter, material world, you don't know about this. Now, you do not get Lord Shiva's wife upset, even if you're Lord Shiva. Bad idea. And so she starts firing up. My other name is Vaishnavi, and I'm a devout devotee of Vishnu. And she starts flaming up. And she starts making these proclamations. If I ever get prasadam, I'll give it to everyone, even the dogs. Everyone will get prasadam. And so she starts flaming up, and then Lord Vishnu appears on the scene. He's like, Shanti, Shanti. He said, this is all my arrangement. Don't worry, Parvati. Shanti, Shanti. He said, I will appear as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and you, Lord Shiva, and you, Parvati, will come and call me to make that appearance. And also Parvati, when I have my deity of Lord Jagannath, and there's no temple that distributes more prasadam than the Jagannath temple in Puri. They have the biggest kitchen in the world. When I have that temple, all the prasadam will be first offered to you in the form of Bimala Devi. So Srila Prabhupada's guru is called Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, but when he was born, his name was Bimal Prasad, because when he was brought out as a baby, it was right in front of that temple where they brought him out to the temple, and the garland of Jagannath fell around him. His name is Bimal Prasad. This is a form of Durga. And then from that temple, all the prasadam is distributed and everybody gets it, even the dogs. And they say that prasadam is so powerful that if you see a dog eating it, take it out of its mouth and eat it. And so that's your story there. That's not such a mini version. My wife said, "Why are you yelling?" My wife said, "Why the hell are you yelling?" Sorry. All right. So there's a little bit. That's you got a little bit of the what do you call Pralaya dance there. I have a little bag with Mahaprasadam from Jagannath Puri. Oh my God, that is amazing. It's Prasadam is wonderful, but Jagannath Puri Prasadam is the best. If you want, guys, there. Oh, take it, everyone, take it. Okay, I took a lot of our time for this for that story. Should we go in breakout rooms? Everyone does some more practice. It's a wonderful story. It's a beautiful story. There's some elements I got to remember. There's some in that room, or I think there's some beforehand, but I think that's pretty much most of it. Krishna's not given that. So Lord Chaitanya, he is that form of why did he come? What's the internal reason? Does anybody know the answer for that? What's the internal reason for Lord Chaitanya's appearance? And there's three basic aspects of it, but just in general. Gauranga Nishta.
So Krishna wants to experience Srimati Radhika's feelings. He's not conscious of how he can develop. How can I know how someone else feels about me?
Mm.
And then he says, I need to experience this without being conscious that I am who I am.
Mm.
And then she
So
said,
the love that the greatest devotee has for Krishna wants to experience what is the happiness of loving Krishna. Because, you have Rukmini crying, feeling bad for Krishna, saying, you're missing out on this. You're missing out. And you see, everyone in this world is trying to be God. And here's Krishna. And he's trying to get the highest ecstasy by being the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. All right. Okay. Yes, Granganishta.
He actually says to us strictly, if you want to come to me, go to Srimati Radhika, don't come to me. I will be pleased if you go to her before me.
Hare, then Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. There's that compassionate feminine nature. All right. Okay. So let's do breakout rooms. We got a little bit of time still. Breakout rooms. Everybody practice the verses. We got 9. Okay. So here we go. There we go.
Oh,
Hare Krishna.
hello. Okay. That was a really cool story. Thank you
I'm
for
not
that.
hearing you, Evan. Is it me or is it you?
I can hear you. Have you got me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
okay.
not hearing you either. It must be me.
I think so. I can hear. I can hear you. Sounds good.
Maybe this will make a difference. Any good?
I can still hear you.
Cool. I'm not sure Edward is. Let me look at my audio settings. Yeah, that was a really nice story.
Oh yes, yes. One of my faves.
Yeah. What? I don't remember where you said it is from. Like where?
Chaitanya Mangala by Lochan Das Thakur.
I don't know. I'm not hearing anything.
Oh no.
Let's see.
Test mic.
Is there? Let's see.
Okay. MacBook Air microphone.
Oh, now I'm back.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, is it all good?
Yes.
I don't know what that was.
Okay.
All right. Okay then. So, do you want to go first, Edward?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, however you want, you can do a line and I'll repeat it, or you can do the verse.
Sure. Let's do line by line.
Cool.
Etajoni bhutani
Etad yonini bhutani
sarvani tu padharaya
sarvanityupadharaya
aham kritsnasya jagata
Aham Krishnasya Jagata
prabhava pralayastata
abhava pralayastata. Cool. One thing in the session we did yesterday were sometimes we were on that third line, we were struggling not to say Krishnasya instead of Kritsnasya.
Kritsnasya.
There's an extra T in there. It's quite interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Want to go again?
Sorry, something just came up on my screen. All right. Sure. Shall I go?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Etat yonini bhutani
Bhutani
sarvanityupadaraya
Sarvanitya
aham kritsnasya jagata
Aham Krishnasya Jagata
prabhava pralayastata.
Prabhava Prailastata.
Cool. Is there anything pronunciation wise that maybe you can pick up on there?
Sounds good to me.
Cool. What's Edward, what are you feeling about the previous verses? Like, are you how are you feeling like, doing them like sort of one after the other?
I'm on my own, I'm really good. When I get self-conscious, I forget things.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I pretty much got the previous. We're on 6 now, right? So yeah, the previous 5, I can do them.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to hear it. Take your time as well.
How are you with verse 1?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can do verse 1.
Oh, and yeah, they all just get stronger over time.
Yeah.
It's most. I know you have a lot of devotees who have tried learning verses in the past, but when you put them all together, it does make it a lot easier. And you see, we got to
that's
do.
true.
There's still a lot of work that we got to do, but unlike other methods, usually it can be disappointing because you practice, you learn, and then you forget them all.
Right.
Where this, they all just kind of support each other. They help each other out by being
Yeah.
together.
Sometimes I make mistakes when something reminds me of something else. Like there's a
Yes.
line that's similar to another verse.
Yeah, that happens.
I get it confused.
Or sometimes what happens, I'll recite chapter 7. I go up to like 14, and I think the end of the 14th line reminds me of something else somewhere else, and I jump to like the end of the chapter or another chapter. I'm starting like, why am I chanting chapter 9 now? That's not what. But with it doesn't. Once you get the whole thing, a little bit work, it will, you get it again smooth again.
Yeah.
So most of this it's like when I set up my Airbnbs. Most of the work is in the beginning.
Right.
And you get to keep it. Then you just get the profits coming in. All right, I'll leave you guys and I'll go check another room.
Cool.
All right.
How are you with the English on this one, Evan?
You're so sweet.
All good. So if you do you want to start again? If you want me to do the call and you want to respond?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm pulling that up so that I.
Yeah. So you can have something to look.
Yeah, I'm trying so hard to get back into this, and
No worries.
my life has been so upside down, and I'm like, I need this.
And you can, and it doesn't matter where you start.
You scared me.
Go
ahead.
I think it was Carlos. He started on verse 11 in chapter 15, and he went all the way to the end, and then he worked his way in like a circle, just wherever you're at, start there, and then keep on going.
I was just telling Kylie, like, I'm the worst student lately because my life's been so upside down, and I'm just trying to get myself. I want to do this so bad, and so I'm trying really hard, and I apologize for being one of those like in and out, trying to catch up on email. So she's been so sweet.
You don't need to apologize at all.
Thank you guys.
Probably that WhatsApp group will be very helpful for you because they meet all kinds of times. Not everybody can meet at this one particular time that we're having the class. And I think we have like 114 people sign up for the class, and and there may be a certain amount that are actually practicing, but there's only usually 10 or so that are able to attend the live class.
Got you. Thank you. Go ahead, Kylie, where you left off. I interrupted you. Sorry.
Etadyonini bhutani sarvani padaraya aham kritsnasya jagata prabhava pralayastata.
So what does pralaya mean?
Pralaya means dissolution.
Yes, that whole dance of destruction of Lord Shiva. Big dance of destruction.
So he's saying of these two energies, by the two energies, I guess he means the material and the spiritual.
Yeah.
Know that I am the cause of creation and dissolution of all of it.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm going to jump into another room. You guys can keep on practicing.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So do you want to try? I guess I'm having a hard time hearing you. Do you want to give it a shot?
I've been kind of holding back, so it's not that you
Well,
can't hear me.
how can I support? How can I support your practice?
Now that I have it in front of me better, because I was looking at the totally wrong, that was part of it. I was looking at the wrong email. So let try it like how you were saying, like either together or call and response again.
Yeah.
Maybe even do one word at a time.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
And then
Thank
work
you.
up from there.
Yeah. So
Sounds good. I'll follow your lead.
Hari Hari.
Hare.
Hare Krishna. I like the artwork.
Oh, thank you. I didn't make it, but
Nope.
I appreciate it.
Nice, nice. And where do you live in Pennsylvania?
I live, yeah, right outside of Philadelphia.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Maybe we'll hopefully see you someday.
I would love
On
to
our
come
travels.
down that way.
Yeah. I'm in Dallas, but we have family in New York. We go up there, and some of them live in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And so,
I've been hoping to make it out to Gita Nagari Farm, but they were closed for so long because of COVID.
I've never been there. I've been to so many places. I've never been to Gitnagari.
Well, you know what, they offer these Seva weekends where you can take the family and stay there and work on the farm for the weekend, and you get to, be close to the animals and everything. And
Nice.
I contacted them earlier this year, but because it's only like an hour and a half away from my house. And they were like, sorry, we can't have anybody here who's not a volunteer because we don't want anybody to get COVID.
Mm.
So I said, try again later.
Oh.
So we were just about to go through all the way from 7.1 to 7.6, back and forth.
Okay, good, good.
So we ready? Let's do it. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Are we ready?
Yep, yep.
Does it start at the top? Okay. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Maya Sakta Manaparta.
Maya Shakta Manaparta
Yogam Yunjam Marashrayaha.
Yogam Yamadasprayaha
Asamshayam Samagramam.
Asamshayam Samagramam
Yatha Nyasya Sitachtrinu.
Yata Jasanis Jasanis Tachinu
Jnanam Teham Savigyanam.
Jnanam Teham Sabhijnanam
Idam Vakshyamya Sheshataha.
Idam Bhakshami Shikshataha
Yajñatva Neha Budyo
Yanyatva Neha Bhunyat
Nyatavyam Avashishyate.
Nyatavyam Avashishyate
Manushyanam Sahasreshu.
Manusyanam Sahasreshu
Kaschid Siddhaye.
Kashchit Yatati Siddhaye
Yatatamapi Siddhanam.
Yatatam Api Siddhanam
Kaschinmam Veti Tattvata.
Kaschin Veti Tattvataha
Bhumirapo Nalo Vayu.
Bhumi Apo Nalo Vayu
Kammano Buddhirevacha.
Kammano buddhireva cha.
ahankara iti yamme
Ahankara iti yamme.
vina prakritirashtadaha
Vina prakritirashtadaha.
aparayamitastvanyam
Apariyam itastvanyam.
prakritim vidime param.
Prakritim vidhi me param.
Jiva bhutam mahabaho
Jiva bhutam baho.
jajidam daryate jagat
Yayedam darjate jagat.
etadyonini bhutani
Itadyuni bhutani.
sarvanityupadu sarvanitya sarvanityupadaraya. Oh, that's a tough one. Sarvanityupadaraya
Sarvaniti upadaraya.
aham kritsnasya jagatat aham kritsnasya jagata
Aham kritsnasya jagata.
prabhava pralayastata.
Prabhava pralayastata.
When you work on 6, we'll be good. We'll be good.
¿Qué pasó?
Chandra,
Oh, Chandra's here.
you're muted.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All right.
We practiced verse 6 and all the other verses, and now we are back in chapter 15.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at the reports here. Nice. So, shall we move out of the break groups?
Yeah,
Okay. let me do
Yeah.
me dejes el significado del 5, Carlitos.
Okay.
No te hagas loco.
that. Oh, I had some verse to read, I remember. Howdy. Dana, is it? I think I'm sending a Tulsi necklace to you. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. And I'm
Oh.
so grateful for you. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Oh,
with
no
all
problem. No problem. Yeah, I should be going to the post office tomorrow to send that out.
You have no idea what that means to me. Thank you with all my heart.
Well,
I need
we're
it.
happy to help. And I went to India years ago, and I bought, like, seriously, I bought like 100 Tulsi necklaces for like $3 or something. It was
Oh, wow.
something ridiculous. And they're not like the fancy ones.
I don't need
And then I
fancy
see
fancy.
all
I
these,
don't like fancy.
and I see like there's all these serious practitioners of Krishna consciousness on Wisdom of Sages, and they don't have Tulsi neck beads. I'm like, everybody needs neck beads. So I started writing everybody.
Well, you are a blessing to me. Thank you very, very much. It
No
means the
problem.
world to me.
So I wanted to just read a purport. This is kind of a summary. It's a Gita Bhushan, Baladev Vijayabhushan's purport, which is a nice summary of the verse. Commentary. By these two energies, the Lord creates the whole universe. Know that all moving and non-moving entities arise from these energies. The inferior and superior energies, called the field and the knower of the field, are the cause of everything. So the field refers to matter, and the knower of the field is the beings that are conscious of matter. But these two energies belong to me. They arise from me. Therefore, I alone am the cause of the manifestation, prabhava, of the whole world arising from Prakriti. And I am that entity which everything arises, prabhava. I alone am also the destroyer, that entity by which everything disappears. Everything merges back into Vishnu at the end of the dissolution. Everything merges back into his body. When we do cover chapter 9, that's what is it? Puna, again and again. How does that verse go? It says the universes come out of me, and then it comes back, and that's at the beginning of chapter 9. I'm not remembering exactly the verse. Puna. Oh, I can't remember it. And I was also going to look at something. Chapter 13 has the 5 elements, and let's see. I don't know. There was something. I remember seeing something that was related to chapter 9 is like the very scientific, analytical chapter discussing all the different elements. I'm not seeing exactly what I was looking for. It was a few days ago. But yeah, this topic of the field and the knower of the field, which is sometimes mentioned. Prakritim shvam avashtabhya vishajami punah bhutagramam ibam kritsnam. There you got the Krishnam. Our favorite Krishna that makes us think we're saying Krishna and we have to wait. No, there's a T in the middle. Avasham prakriter vishat. Prakriti shvam avashtabhya. Okay, so let's see if Rishajami. What is Srijami? Was the creation. The Shrishti Srijami punah. Again, I'm creating. Uttagramamidam kutsnam. See, this is kind of the whole cosmic order is under me, under my will. It's automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it's annihilated at the end. And this avasham means automatic. It's like, and I like Prabhupada gave this analogy, how this is automatic. Krishna is not like there, the tractor, like making these things happen, like he's sitting and he is seated as neutral, as aloof, and that's these verses in the 9th chapter. That was one verse that was quoted. Prabhupada gave the example, said, look at, he said, I'm an ordinary human being, but due to my disciples' love for me, this whole international society for Krishna consciousness is going on. These, this temple's doing this, arati, people doing kirtan, all these things are going on because of the disciples' affection for me. He said, and I'm just an ordinary soul. He says, so what to speak of Krishna? So all the devatas, all the demigods, they're all out of their own affection for Krishna. All these energies are acting according to his will, but Krishna is actually not really even being involved in doing anything. He is aloof. It's just perfectly acting according to his. I think one of the next verses is that where he talks about his supervision. It's happening just according to his supervision. Some of the elements, chapter 9 and chapter 7, kind of follow the same pattern of intro describing energies. There's a similar pattern that they have. And so Krishna is going to start explaining in chapter 7 all the different ways that we can see Krishna through his different energies. And we see this verse, he says, all this matter and spirit, it all comes from me. It dissolves back into me. And in the next verse, he clarifies it. There's nothing higher than me. Not mata parataram, none yet. Like the kids will say, none yet. So anya, remember we know this word anya. What does anya mean? Chapuji?
I'm thinking about the verse. Apareya mitastvanyam, like other.
Other, yes. And so nanyat.
No other.
No other. Mata parataram nanyat. There's no truth other than me, superior to me. This is the highest And we also have this word anya with ananya bhakti, means bhakti without any other thing mixed in it. Mata partaram nanya kinchid asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam proktram sutra. Remember, what does sutra mean? Does anybody know this word? Vedanta Sutra. I heard a real cool thing about
The tip of the string, right?
yes, it's a string, a thread. Sutra mana ganaiva, money ganaiva. Money, I think that's the word for pearl. And ganaiva means like a pearl necklace. And if you have a nice expensive pearl necklace, you're not seeing the string, but you know the string's there just because it's all together. So you may not see how Krishna is behind everything, but you know he's there. Everything's together. You know, and it's like that one verse that we had in the 15th chapter. Planets are like balls of dirt flying in the sky. And so Krishna says he's that gravity. Like, for example, if you take a ball of dirt in your hand and like spin around in a circle, you know, it stays all together to that force that you're applying. When you let go of it, so if Krishna was not there in causing this force of gravity, then no planet. All right. So we'll see. Any last comments, questions? Aham sarvasya. Oh, that's another great verse. Thank you, Jeff. I love that chapter. Chapter 10 is very cool. It's got some Yo Mama verses. Yo Mama Jama Nadim Cha. Mama Yo Veti Tatvata. There's some Yo Mama verses there. There's the 4 Chatur Shlokis, the essence of the Gita in 4 verses. That's there in chapter 10, 8, 10, 9, 10, 10, 10, 11. That's the first one. It all comes from me. This is basic. Yeah, there's the essence there. And this is, you guys remember from chapter 15, there's this topic of Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. We heard Kastuba talk about this not too long ago. Sambandha is the analogy that we gave when I was traveling to Florida. Sambandha is the map, the hypothesis, the theory, the understanding. Abhideya is the journey, the practice, the experiment, hypothesis, experiment, and then result, the goal. Prayojana is the goal. So these verses also have that. We had that in the end of 15th chapter. There's 3 essential verses. They went through the hypothesis, experiment, and kind of a little bit touched on the goal. So this is the hypothesis, and there's God, and everything comes from him. And the wise who know this engage in my devotional service. So that's even hitting at the process and the end goal. So, yes, any other reflections before we go? So yeah, he's saying everything comes from me, and then the next verse, this is the asheshataha. This is the complete knowledge without it's coming to asamudha. What is that? Maya shaktam manaparta yogam yunjan manasya ashamshayam means without any let's see, ashamshayam, shamshayam, without doubt. Samagram means complete. That's the full understanding. It's the completely baked cake. It's not just the sugar, it's not just the butter, here's the whole deal coming, that we're getting, this being explained. And so Krishna is explaining that his supreme position But when we know this, we become wise, and we engage in His devotional service with all our heart. So that's why it's important we get that, because then it impels us towards loving Him. So if there's no more questions, then I think we're out here. Om Tat Sat. Thanks a lot. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
question, are any of you joining those reading groups?
Yes.
All right. Nice.
I'm not. I think I must have missed something because I'm not too sure like what they're reading actually.
Okay, so there it might be in one of the emails, but they're starting these groups. They're around 6 to 7 people big. Right now they have, I think they had 150 first people that came in that signed up, and they'll open it up to a bigger group. And out of that 150, they'll have about 20 kind of leaders that will basically, they're going to provide us some reading materials, and we're just to kind of lead the meeting together. And then we also kind of check in with each other and stuff. So I'm going to be one of the leaders of those groups. I don't know who's going to be in it.
Is it like a focus on like Prabhupada's books in general or specific scriptures?
It might be Prabhupada's books. I'm not so sure. Basically, it's kind of a second tier of wisdom of the sages in a way that they're basically every group is going to be given the same reading material. So it's kind of like how to engage all these people in a more dynamic and personal way. So that's why the group's only like 6 or 7 people.
Cool.
And then we also check in, find out like how's everybody, what are some struggles, or what are some inspirations. And it's Bhaktivinoda Thakur started this thing called the Bhakti Vriksha, which was like programs in people's homes, and whenever they grew a little bigger, then they would split up, and the persons would they would start different ones and stuff like that. And this seems like the digital version of it, where they keep it a certain size, and it's easy for the person who's leading it because he doesn't have to think of all different lessons, and then the whole body of people are kind of studying on the same things on the same page, so it's all relevant.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. I was really excited, and I got to be a part of it. So, made the cut.
I do have a question. What happens is what I feel that